Greetings all, Ferrari Man 601 here. Welcome back to Flight Simulator 2020, and welcome to, of all places, Sudan Airfield here in Pyongyang, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Emphasis on Korea, as in North Korea. Can we call it a republic? No. Is it democratic? No. Is it the people's? No. But it is a very strange destination, one that is illegal to visit for American citizens anyway. So why not go there virtually? And we've got the pit special today. What are we going to do? We're going to barnstorm Pyongyang. Yes. Have I flown this plane much? No. Is it fun? Yes. Therefore, in the cockpit with us, already on the runway, we are the only air traffic in the entire country, I'm led to believe. Everything reset here. And, yeah, battery master. Fuel to main tank. Yes. Right. We got a mixture. Yep. Full rich. Pitch trim. We're gonna wanna... Is there any fine adjustment to that? No, not really. Okay. Fine. Have a low neutral for takeoff. And starter. Come on, fire up. Come on. There we go. All right. We're fired. We've got a throttle. That's good. Gotta hold the brakes here because if I just let off the brakes, the plane will start to roll. We don't really want to do that. Prop feather to full. Alternator master on. Avionics master on. Don't need the boost pump, quite obviously. Altimeter is set at 3026. Check the mags. Left mag. Right mag. That's fine. Both mags. We're going to have flight control here. Yeah. We got that. We got that. Both surfaces. And can't see the elevators, but I trust that they're going to be working. Beyond that, we've got a clear window down at the bottom for aerobatic maneuvers. And let's go. Off the brakes, the plane starts to roll forward. We'll sort of roll into the throttle here. So I have the sinking suspicion that if you give this thing full beans off the runway, it's just going to topple over. Tail dragger, of course. Right, tail is coming up. $60 knots. And let's just pitch up and get out of here. All right. Right, so we're up. I'm assuming that's our radio antenna out there. We do not have another one on the other side of the aircraft, so that's fine. And Pyongyang should be, well, downtown Pyongyang, as it were, should be dead ahead. Just gonna adjust our trim for a slight nose-up attitude. As we increase airspeed, the climb rate should settle out, and we'll fly it with the throttle. Right. So this is the other runway here at Sudan. It is closed. Obviously, it's usable if you need it, but it is closed. Which means that the runway behind us is called 1 left in the direction that we're facing. We took off from 19er left, but yeah, for some reason that's still called runway 1 left, even though this, technically speaking, should be runway 1 left. I guess the civil engineers here had a little bit of an issue with the ground sinking because they built this airfield right next to a river, as you can see, so who knows what actually happened. But, you know, there's the offending river. Right, anyway, we're going to be heading down toward the bigger tributary of said river. Yes, we'll let the People's Party delegates know that we are leaving the airspace.
November 781 Echo X-ray frequency change.
Right. We will not request flight following from Pyongyang Center because we want to arouse the maximum level of suspicion. And we'll just take a look at what probably the most extreme example of a completely top-down planned economy looks like. Let's see, this wouldn't be a bad spot to live. I guess these are the semi-loyal party members that get to live in these compounds. Those are some sketchily built houses, for lack of a better term, and then you've got these buildings here, whatever they are. I would say they're apartment blocks, but who knows in this part of the world. Yeah, that is, have a look at that. Our fuel level indicator here, it's literally just a sight glass. Have a look as I roll the airplane. Does the fuel actually slosh, or is that a reflection? I think it's more of a reflection, but it looks cool nonetheless. I don't know, that fuel level might actually be sloshing. What's pitch do to it? Huh. That might be fuel slosh. I don't entirely know, but it's interesting. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Ah, yes. Getting into some more urban development here. Interesting. No idea what any of this is. There don't appear to be any zoning regulations whatsoever. But we start to get into some juicy landmark type things presently. Just through the top of the canopy here. We'll get out of it in a moment. See this big tower-looking thing? It's rendered as a gigantic apartment block, I believe, much like the Washington Monument was before the U.S. World Update that came through about, I don't know, 2 months ago. However, I believe in reality this is supposed to be the big tower with luminescent torch flame on top, which represents, get this, the Juche idea. Not ideal, not ideology, the idea. Here it's rendered as a generic cylindrical apartment block. But, yeah, in reality that would look quite a bit different. Juche, of course, being the military-first self-reliance attitude that the entire North Korean ideology is built on. I believe over in this stupendous-looking ellipsoid area, there would be statues of the Generals Kim, the deceased Generals Kim. However, they're not here. That was probably a smart move on the part of the FS developers, because any sort of depiction of the leaders of North Korea needs to meet certain regulatory standards. Otherwise, it's considered seditious speech, and it turns you into, technically speaking, an international fugitive. Over here is a big stadium, which undoubtedly took the entire GDP of the entire country for about 10 years to finance. I believe this is at least one of the venues where they put on the mass Arirang Games, which I believe is it's a yearly occasion in North Korea where hundreds of thousands of people, whether they be athletes, artists, musicians, that sort of thing, all, of course, commissioned and financed by the state, get to present their wares. And it's a treat for the elite citizens of Pyongyang, the people who get to live in this city, because, of course, nobody is just able to move in here on their own accord. You have to be invited to live here, because free and open societies work that way. Some more generic apartment blocks. Someplace around here is going to be the big parade ground where they do their Yay Us parades every year. Not entirely sure where that is. Could be right here for all I know. I don't think it is, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with Pyongyang. That's a building covered in grass. All right. No idea what any of this is. There are way too many cars on the road, though, to be authentic. Well, this all looks somewhat idyllic. You know, if you like brutalist architecture. Very cool. Someplace around here, I'm not entirely sure where, we would be able to see it from some distance, I assure you, is the world's tallest hotel. Surprised we can't see it. We can't see it from someplace around here, and imagine it might not be in the sim, but it's the world's tallest hotel. It is not finished, and it is structurally unsound, which means that it has never actually held any guests. It's another mega project that the government took on here and could not finance properly. So it was abandoned amidst construction, I believe in the late 1980s. They were working on it, and they suddenly decided that this, I guess, what would you call it? It's a quadrilateral pyramid of some kind, not a square one. And they realized that it just structurally doesn't work. So they abandoned it. But regardless, it remains a pride project for the party, and they like to show it off in press reels. It's a stupendous looking something down there, whatever it is. Again, there are way too many cars on all these roads. Where is the giant hotel? I would think it would be in this area, but it is not evident. I just don't know. No idea. Some sort of a running track where the Pyongyang Grand Prix is held every year. That's a joke. Cannot find this megalithic hotel structure. Oh well. But I assure you it was supposed to be spectacular. It's not, though. And then, as you can see, it doesn't take very long you start getting out of the city center to just start seeing sparsely populated wilderness again. I will say, though, you head out there in this direction, and all of a sudden you start to get some wonderful-looking terrain. Lots of natural beauty here in North Korea. Unfortunately, it's inaccessible to most of the world. I would say that North Korea would very well become the Switzerland of Asia if they would just open up a bit. But no, they want it their way, which is their right, I suppose. Yep, heading eastbound, you start to get into the mountains, and again, it's very picturesque out there. Even in some of the taller mountains, you start to see glaciers and stuff. It is not bad. Let's see. Just flying around with trim. It's very touchy on this thing. Obviously, it's a linear control in reality, but not so granular here. Just trying to do it with a mouse. And yeah, about a 3-minute flight in this airplane, which is not all that fast. We're doing 170 knots, about 3 minutes outside of town, and you're in, well, farmland. Some of which actually appears to be arable. And oh yeah, you can see the ground. That's not all disconcerting. Obviously, with aerobatic maneuvers, which this airplane is really designed to be doing, it comes in handy. So over here, this looks interesting. Creek, which runs into, I don't know, it appears to, I would say it's some sort of a farm, but then we have more industrial looking structures immediately behind. I don't know what this is, and they probably don't want you to know what this is either. But it's a pretty nice bit of land here. Very picturesque, almost reminiscent of home, to be honest. Man, this airplane's got a lot of torque. Try that in a Cessna, we would have stalled like you would not believe. I'd almost think about putting it down here, but the The slope's got me a little bit concerned because this is a tail dragger. I mean, that looks very nice. We are in North Korea, remember? Start to power on out of here. Look at this little hut, basically. It's a hut with a window. There's full power. That's some acceleration. That's pretty remarkable, actually. These little ridges here, you gotta wonder, are these artificial? They might be. It's on top of there. Who knows? Probably someplace you're not supposed to know about. What's all this stuff here? Probably more stuff you're not supposed to know about. Yeah. Obviously, you can see it's all rendered in 2D here, but these are roads, and these are buildings, and these are all kinds of things. Again, not particularly inviting places, I'm sure. All right, we'll get a little bit more altitude, get our bearings up once again, and then I guess take one last little flight around to downtown Pyongyang, backtrack to Sunan. There's the stadium, so we got a landmark reference. Think about if this were someplace, even, I was going to say in the West, but even someplace elsewhere in Asia, like South Korea, for example, this would just be one enormous city. Not here. Oil temp is taking a while to go anywhere. I'll be satisfied. This thing has got a roll rate on it, though. I mean, look at that. That is angular momentum, or actually lack thereof. This thing does not have a whole lot of inertia in roll. It'll stop basically exactly where you put it. Pretty cool. Let's see. Does have quite a bit of drag though, as you would expect being a biplane layout with these big pylons and wire struts holding it together. cover, get right down close to the water. Basically at treetop level. Power lines. Probably be flying through them. That would be bad. Thankfully, Flight Simulator doesn't model power lines yet. I'm sure it will at some point. This game models everything somehow or other. There's a stadium. That looks kind of cool. And it's all eerily quiet, as you would expect. Again, too many cars, but you can see that you've got these little placards showing different, presumably happy people doing sporting activities. Figure skating, some sort of ball sport, running, some other kind of ball sport, some other kind of ball sport. I guess they've covered their bases with this. Cool. I do not know what the big mound in the center of town is for. Oh, is this the parade ground? Might be. Hard to say. Looks like a main street heading up to some sort of checkpoint. Might be. That could well be it. Again, not quite sure. Obviously, they haven't really put in too much custom scenery here. Can't imagine why. That's a completely nondescript looking terrible structure. I think that is the main parade ground and also where General Kim allegedly lives. More strange mounds in the middle of the city. Again, you wonder, what are they actually made of? Get a little bit more altitude here. We'll get a visual on Sunan and we'll head back in. Undoubtedly, I've already committed more crimes against this state to warrant my permanent exile, which is fine by me because I would never in a billion years plan on going here anyway. Yep, Sunan has been sighted. I've got the active runway and the closed runway. We'll land on the active. Yeah, we'll land on 19er. So we'll be circling around. So call this the upwind leg. We'll radio in and be decent about it.
Tower pits November 781 Echo X-ray 8 miles south to land.
Pits November 781 Echo X-ray tower. Fly left downwind, runway 19er right. Altimeter tree.
Alright then.
Fly left downwind runway 19 or right pits 1 Echo X-ray.
We'll do it from the left. Because this country does everything from the left. Actually, yet we're going to be imbecilic about this. I will show you the closed runway where I actually did have the misfortune of landing a 787 one time. Because they said one left, and I looked up and I saw the airfield. There's no RNAV or ILS here, so it's all visual. So I saw the runway from a distance and, you know, more altitude than this. I said, oh, there's right, there's left. So obviously one left, check the compass setting, and there it is. Get down to about this height, you can see that the apron doesn't exist, and there are X's across where the heading alignment number should be. So I was already committed to the landing, and I landed. And ground control was quite confused. However, you can see very much a closed runway. Again, you can see how close that river is to the strip. I think that's part of the reason why it is closed. Either that or it's decoy operations trying to make the airfield look like it only has half the capacity that it actually does. Got to be careful not to touch down because we have not gotten landing clearance yet. But there it is. You can see you've got tugs and an airplane or two there on the apron, but it is closed. And then we torque our way up. That's crazy. This thing has some serious performance. That much I will say. We'll trim it down a little. Yep. And there's the active, which we'll be landing on from the opposite direction. You can see this very circuitous taxiway linking the runways. And you can see there's the X, where you'd expect the heading numbers to be. There's the taxiway, which must cross a bridge of some sort. The weirdest runway configuration in the world. That's one left. Really just one, but why would you bother to renumber anything? That costs more money. And then the taxiway. Let's see, utterly empty airfield. Do some aerobatics. There we go. We can fly inverted if we want. Hey, look at us. We're upside down. I can see my house from here. No, I can't. It's cool. We'll right roll out of this. Bit of an over rotation. Oh well. Niner right, let's get lined up like this. Should be more or less on it.
Pits 1 Echo X-ray cleared to land runway 19 right.
Alrighty then.
328 at 11.
328 at 11.
Clear to land runway 19 or right pits 1 Echo X-ray.
Right. How should we turn around? I think we're gonna do a split S. Not quite like that. However, there we are, lined up with the runway, just like that. I've got no pappy. I've got nothing. This is as bare as it gets. Lucky we've got distance markings.
Hits 1 Echo, X-ray, go around.
What? Go around? What?
Going around pits 1 Echo X-ray.
Okay, now I am getting very suspicious. Let's go around outside the airport perimeter. I think my loop might have thrown them. Tell me there's traffic, or are we being manipulated now by the powers that be?
Hits 1 Echo, X-ray, clear to land runway.
Okay.
19 right.
We're not gonna loop into it again.
Clear to land runway 19 or right pits 1 Echo X-ray.
We're gonna fly around this little bank of trees, and then we're gonna enter on a little dogleg here, just because. Right. A little bit of a base, and then we'll turn final. Good enough. Okay, now if they wave us off again, I'm gonna go land on the closed runway because, yeah. I wonder if they thought that I was interference to myself because of that loop. Probably messed up the ATC algorithm. Because now I'm over the runway, we are committed. Can drop a lot more speed than we're gonna, but that's all right. It's a bit rough. Yep, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We're gonna drop a bit more speed and try again for a second time. Okay, let's slow down. Okay. That's better. Slightly. Oof, all right. Get it on the ground. Good. Tail is down.
Hits 1 Echo, X-ray, exit runway when able.
Yeah, exit runway when I can control this thing. It's like constant oversteer. Okay. Not that I can really see where we're going either, but, you know. They want us to taxi 2.5 nautical miles away from here? Nope. Sorry, pal. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to turn right off here.
Hits 1 Echo, X-ray contact ground on 118 decimal tree.
118 decimal tree for pits 1 Echo X-ray.
I'm just going to park it right here. Because that's what we do. Right. No parking brakes. So we just shut it down where we stand. Alternator master, avionics, and engine. Right. Engine stopped. Battery master. And there we are. So we kind of barnstormed Pyongyang. We did not get shot down, so success. And we were waved off on our first approach, which is very odd. I have not had that happen at an airport with no traffic. It must have thought that we were interference because I was just, we did a loop, so I must have done something there to upset the ATC algorithm. But regardless, we're here. Had a very bumpy first contact with the runway, but we made it. And yeah, we've ranted and raved a little bit about the very odd and deplorable human rights standards that the DPRK has. So, yeah. Until next time, I hope you all enjoyed that one. Ferrari Man 601 saying thank you all very much for watching, and of course, we will see you soon.